Morning to all. Today we are going to discuss about introduction about power electronics. Before going into the topic, what is meant by power electronics? What is the difference between electronics and power electronics? First, you can see power electronics is a study about electronics and the power system. We know that power system is dealing with electrical energy generation, utilization, distribution, and transmission. Electronics is a study about the semiconductor devices. Here, the combination of electronics and power system will give you power electronics. Then, what is the difference between the power electronics and electronics? Electronics is a low power devices. In electronics, we can use a low power application, whereas the power electron is used for high power applications. There is a difference, major difference between the electronics and power electronics. So, this power electronics is very much useful in modern power systems. Okay, what is the use of this power electronics? And what is the basic block diagram of power electronics? Here in power electronics, we have a power converter which has some input and some output. Here, the input may be either AC or DC, it may be a fixed one or variable one. Similarly, the output may be AC or DC, again it may be a fixed or variable one. Then what is the function of this power converter? It is nothing but a, consider this as a magic box. It is nothing but a power electronics module which consists of power switches. Normally we call it as power semiconductor switches. It may be any type of switches. We have several type of switches, SCRs, MOSFET, power BJT, IGBT, GCT. So many things are there. So these are some of the examples for power semiconductor switches. This power converter is consists of these power semiconductor switches. The combination of these switches used as a power converter. It may be we simply call it as a array of semiconductor devices. This forms a power converter. Advantage of this power converter is we can convert any type of energy into any type of energy. Based on this conversion, we can classify this power converter into 4 groups. One is called phase controlled rectifiers, which converts AC into DC. Then inverters, which converts DC supply into AC supply. Then AC voltage controller, or AC chopper, which converts AC into AC. It is fixed AC into variable AC. Then fourth one is DC choppers. It converts DC into DC, that is fixed DC into variable DC. So these are the four types of power converters we have in a power electronics model. That first one is phase controlled rectifier. It is similar to the diode rectifier. The only major difference is in diode rectifier we cannot control the output voltage. Based on the input voltage, you will be getting some fixed output voltage. Whereas here in phase controlled rectifier, even though the input is fixed one, in output you can control the value of the output voltage by varying the phase of the that is by varying the firing angle of the phase controlled rectifier. This firing angle is calculated with reference to the phase of the input waveform. That is why it is called phase controlled rectifier. Then inverter which converts here DC supply into AC supply. Again, it may be a fixed one, or it may be the output may be a variable one. So here in while converting a DC into AC, the input DC voltage is a fixed one. Output AC may be any value. We can control the output voltage magnitude as well as the frequency. That is the major advantage of this inverter. Then AC voltage controller or AC chopper, it is a AC to AC converter. That is which converts a fixed AC into variable AC. In AC voltage controller, we can control the magnitude of the output voltage. Whereas another converter is that is called cycloconverter. That is also one of the AC voltage controller. That cycloconverter is used for converting the input frequency into some other frequency. So in this AC voltage controller, you can control both magnitude as well as frequency. Then DC chopper, it is going to convert a fixed DC into variable DC or fixed DC. So input fixed DC is converted into variable DC voltage. The magnitude is changed here. So here in this section, we can discuss about the inverter as well as DC chopper, which are the most commonly used in the industries. Okay, discuss about DC chopper first. And nowadays, in modern industry, most of the machineries requires variable DC sources. So in that case, this DC chopper is very much useful. So this is your DC chopper. The input is a fixed DC. You consider that this is your input waveform, and this is your output waveform. That is fixed or variable. Fixed DC output. It may be any value. The output may be variable. So actually, the output is a variable DC. Then it has to be filtered out, and you have to get the constant DC. So this is the function of DC chopper. In olden days, the DC to DC conversion is achieved by indirect method. That means we have a DC input. The DC input is applied to the inverter. Here it is a DC input. This DC input is applied to the inverter so that you will get the AC output voltage. This AC output voltage again applied to the transformer so that it may be stepped up or stepped down. It may be stepped up or stepped down, and then it is applied to the uncontrolled rectifier. This is a uncontrolled rectifier, that is diode rectifier, which converts a AC into a fixed DC. So whatever value you want, you can get it here. So here it is a transformer. So if you want to change the output voltage level, you have to change the turns ratio of the transformer so that your output voltage will be controlled. Here it is uncontrolled rectifier, so there is no control here. So this two-stage conversion is nowadays performed by a DC chopper. It is replaces the two-stage conversion. So there is a major advantage of DC chopper. Now, how to control this before going to the types of chopper? Here, based on the operation of the chopper, it is divided into two types. One is step-up chopper, another one is step-down chopper. So this DC chopper is simply represented by a simple switch. The switch which represents a chopper circuit. It may be represented as a chopper. So you can see the principle of operation of this DC chopper first. To understand this concept, first we can go for a principle of operation. To understand the principle of operation, consider a simple circuit which consists of simple switch, one inductor and freewheeling diode. Is chopper switch. Is the inductor, is the freewheeling diode. It is nothing but your load. So there is your input voltage VA. For this chopper switch, you have to apply some control signal from a control circuit, so that you can control the output voltage. So this is the basic circuit of chopper. Here you are applying some input DC voltage, considered as a fixed DC. So you are applying some fixed DC here. Here you have a chopper switch, freewheeling diode, used to freewheel the current stored in an inductor and load. Here it is an inductor, is a load. Now the operation of this circuit is divided into two modes. First mode, when the switch is closed, when chopper switch is closed, so the circuit operation becomes so the circuit is closed. Since the switch is closed, the circuit is closed, so the current will flow through this. So the current flowing through the inductor and load, then return back to source. During this time, when the current is flowing through the inductor charges, and this is the first mode of operation. Then second mode of operation, when the switch is open. Consider that the switch is open. So when the switch is open, mode 2, switch is open. The energy is already stored in the inductor. Because of the property of the inductor, it does not allow the sudden change in current. So, what it is trying to do is, the inductor reverses its polarity and try to flow the current try to flow in the same direction. So So what will happen? Is already current is flowing in this direction. So the same direction is maintained by the inductor. So the current is flowing through this. Because of the polarity change in the inductor, the diode become forward bias. So the current will flow through this freewheeling diode, inductor and load. And during this second mode of operation, since the switch is open, there is no current flow in this input side. So now we can see the waveforms. So we can have a better idea. See here, during mode 1, the switch is closed. Whatever the input voltage, same thing is applied to the load. So during this mode, you consider that for ideal condition, the drop across the switch is going to be 0. So I consider that the entire voltage is applied to the load. So during this on period, the output voltage is equal to the input voltage. This is input voltage. At particular time when the switch is open, the input voltage is not applied to the output. At the same time, the output maintains some voltage. Before that, I will draw the current waveform also. You see here, the current is flowing through the load. See, it is when the switch is on, the current is flowing through this. The current builds up from some point I1 to this maximum point. At the moment when the switch is open, the input current becomes 0. There is no current in this, but the current available at this inductor is trying to flow in the same direction. So the direction of the current will not be changed, but the only thing is, since the stored energy is dissipated through the load, the current value is reducing slowly, and it comes like this. At the moment when the next cycle starts, at that time again the current starts building up to this. So in this way, it starts flowing. So at the end of the mode 2, when again the switch is closed, so again current start increasing. So in this way, the current is increasing and decreasing from some current level I1 to I2. During this time, this is turn on time of topper switch. This is the turn off time of topper switch. Topper switch is this one. Okay, so this total time period T equal to T on plus T off. T is nothing but T equal to 1 by F. F is a switching frequency of the topper switch. Okay. So now, by changing this T on and T off period, the output voltage will be changed. Now you can see that if you change this T on value, the width of this on time will be increased and off time will be decreased. So if you take the average of this, you will be getting some value here. That is your output voltage, average output voltage of this average output voltage across the load. Okay, so the output voltage V0 is equal to, we take the average across this, average output voltage across the load. V0 equal to T on divided by total time T, that is or otherwise T on plus T off, multiplied by input voltage VA. So this is the average output voltage of the chopper. This P on by T can be represented by a symbol alpha, which is nothing but duty ratio or duty cycle. This alpha value is nothing but T on by T on plus T off. T on plus T off is the total time period, that is this one. So total time period T. So the value of alpha for this case is always fractional. So this value is the average output voltage V naught equal to some fractional value multiplied by the input voltage. So the output voltage V naught is always less than VA, input voltage. That is why this type of chopper is called step down chopper. So this kind of chopper will always give you the output voltage less than the input voltage. That is why it is called step down chopper. So this is the operation of step down chopper. Here the major part of this circuit is depends upon the duty ratio alpha. So the control of the circuit depends upon alpha. So how to control this is the next question. So control methods of DC chopper. Control methods or control techniques. Basically, we have two types of control. One is variable frequency control. Another one is constant frequency control. In a variable frequency control, here we have a control signal to the power switch is something like this. This is your T on, this is your T off, this is your T. T equal to T on plus T off and F equal to 1 by T. F is here switching frequency. Here this control technique is classified based on this frequency. First, in variable frequency control, we are going to change the frequency of these switching pulses. So we are going to change the T. For this method, we can keep the, for first method, we can keep the either T on or T off as constant and vary the frequency F, so that we can vary the duty ratio. Duty ratio alpha equal to T on divided by T. Here I am keeping T on or T off for constant and I am going to change the T. So that's why I am changing the alpha value. This is one method, that is variable frequency method. In constant frequency method, another name for this variable frequency method is frequency modulation. Frequency modulation. The next method, constant frequency control. In this constant frequency control, I am going to keep the frequency as constant, and you can change the T on and T off. Change the T on and T off. So when you change the T on, when you increase the T on, your alpha value is going to increase. When you increase the T off, alpha value is going to decrease. So in this way, you can vary the alpha value. This method is called pulse width modulation method. It is PWM method or time ratio control method, TRC method. So in majority of application, you can go for this PWM method or TRC method, because here we are operating these switching pulses at a constant frequency. So the filtering of output waveform is easy. Whereas in the variable frequency method, since we are varying the frequency of the switching pulses, the output and the output of the chopper contains different frequency noises. To filter out these noises, we have to go for a bulk filter. So this is a major disadvantage of variable frequency control method, and also it gives some EMI problem. So to avoid these things, we can better go for constant frequency control, that is PWM or TRC control method. Then classification of choppers. Classification of choppers. Based on the operating point of this chopper, we can classify this into several types. That is, first one is type A chopper. It is nothing but first quadrant chopper. That is V0, I0. This is your area of operation. That means in this type A chopper, both output voltage as well as output current are positive. That is type A chopper. Then type B chopper, V0 is always positive, whereas I0 may be positive or negative. Sorry. Type B chopper, it is going to be a one quadrant chopper. So output voltage is positive, but output current is negative, just opposite to this. That is type B chopper. Then type C chopper is a two quadrant chopper. It has the positive output voltage and both positive and negative current in the output. So it will work as in the first quadrant as well as second quadrant. That is type C chopper. Then type D chopper. Again, it is going to be a two quadrant chopper. The difference is here the output current is always positive, but the voltage may be positive or negative. So this is a type D chopper. Then type E chopper. Here it is a four quadrant chopper. So in this chopper, the output voltage and current may be positive or negative, depends upon the situation. So because of this wide characteristics of chopper, we can use this chopper in industry for any kind of operations. For example, four quadrant drive, if you want to operate, you can operate by using these DC choppers. So this is the major advantage of DC choppers. Inverters, which converts here DC supply into AC supply. Basically, we have single phase inverter, three phase inverter, and recently we have multi-level inverters. Single phase inverters is a simple X-bridge inverter. See, this is the input voltage, DC supply, and here you have 4 switches, that is controlled switches. Here I am showing as thyristors, it may be any other switches. Okay, this is your load. So here input you have a fixed DC voltage. This is your input voltage. Whenever the switch T1 and T2 will contact, so okay, this switch, instead of switch I will simply make it as a simple switch. You may use it as any switch. It may be a SCR, power MOSFET, power BJT. Or IGBT, whatever it may be. Yes, the direction of switch is very important here. So whenever the T1 and T2 are closed, that is operating, well, numbering this, odd number should be in the top, bottom, given number should be in the bottom. Like this, you have to make it. When you close this T1 and T2, the positive supply available at this battery point, it will flow through this T1 load and return back to source through T2. So whenever the T1 and T2 is connecting, the output voltage is going to be positive. That is T1 and T2 is connecting. That is the voltage and current is flowing through this load in this way. Consider this as a positive direction of the output voltage and output current. So you will be getting some positive output voltage in the across the load. Then after some time you turn off the T1 and T2 and turn on T3 and T4. So that what will happen, again this supply is going to T3 and go to load in the opposite direction. You can listen here. Here the current is going in the opposite direction and it closes back to the source through T4. But the current and voltage across the load here is in opposite direction. So your output voltage is something like this. That is in opposite direction when T3 and T4 are conducting. When this thing is repeated, the output voltage is going to be an alternating one. So in this way, you can convert a DC supply into AC supply. Same thing is applicable for three-phase supply. That is three-phase inverter. Only thing is for three-phase inverter you have 6 switches here. So at a time, any 2 switches or 3 switches may be operated based on a type of inverter you are using. Then the multi-level inverter is a recent one. Here, in a normal conventional inverter, your output voltage is a 2-level inverter. That is, we have one positive value and negative value. While taking a total harmonic distortion of fundamental waveform of this is going to be a, so this is your fundamental waveform of output waveform. So we are comparing these two, the THV value of this 2-level inverter is very high. So in order to reduce this, we are going for multi-level inverter. In this multi-level inverter, the output waveform is going to be a stepped waveform. Here, the output voltage is a stepped waveform. Now, if you take a fundamental of this, fundamental output voltage of this is going to be like this. So when you compare this fundamental waveform and actual waveform, the distortion is less. So here the THD value is somewhat reduced. So for this advantage we are going for a multi-level inverters. So this is a recent technology we have. So that's all.